Good morning. Welcome back to Open Med School. Today I'll be discussing the ECG of a 50-year-old man who had severe diarrhea, following which he developed inability to walk. What are the conditions you will consider? Significant weakness following diarrhea, you should always consider electrolyte imbalance, that is hypokalemia. Let us look into this ECG and see whether the patient has got features of hypokalemia. So what you should look for is the mid-precordial leads. The classical findings are seen in B2 to B4. So here you can see that the ST segment is depressed. And there is a prominent wave here. This is actually the U wave. The appearance of U wave in mid-precordial leads is a classical finding that you get along with ST segment depression. The appearance of the U wave will be confused and can be considered as T wave, and this will lead on to apparent increase in the QT interval. QT interval is from the beginning of the Q to the end of the T wave. So this will lead on to appearance of a prolonged QT interval. Later there can be prolonged PR interval and prominent P wave. So the classical appearance will be in the ST segment, that is, one is the ST segment will come down, the T wave height will disappear, come down, and will be replaced with the U wave. So this is the U wave. And sometimes the T will be appearing like a bifid one. Then there is ST segment depression, prolongation of the PR interval, and the P will become prominent. These are the typical findings of hypokalemia. All the findings need not be present in all the cases. Now a few words regarding the potassium. The normal serum potassium is between 3.5 to 5 milliequivalents per liter. And the serum potassium, depending upon it, you divide into mild hypokalemia, moderate hypokalemia, and severe hypokalemia. When the potassium level is less than 2.5 milliequivalents, you call it as severe hypokalemia. ECG changes and symptoms usually occur only with severe hypokalemia. Moderate is 2.5 to 3, and mild is 3 to 3.5. So usually mild hypokalemia is asymptomatic. Moderate hypokalemia can have symptoms, especially when patient is on digoxin, or there is some drugs which can produce QT prolongation is there. In such cases, patient can develop symptoms. The symptoms are either neuromuscular or cardiac. So the manifestations are predominantly cardiac or in the muscles. In the cardiac, it usually presents with arrhythmias, any type of arrhythmias, starting with atrial premature contraction, ventricular premature contraction, tachycardia, ventricular fibrillation. And very severe hypokalemia can lead on to the towards a depointes. So that is significance of hypokalemia. Neuromuscular usually manifests as the skeletal muscles, it produces ascending paralysis. It may be confused with GBS. And the smooth muscles can produce a dynamic ileus, abdominal distension, and other manifestations. Very rarely central nervous system manifestations like confusion, altered sensorium can occur, and this may be due to the underlying situation which has produced the hypokalemia also. Then just look into how can you get hypokalemia. Let us look into the absorption and excretion of potassium. Approximately 100 milliequivalents of potassium is in the diet. So gastrointestinal uptake is around 100 milliequivalents. 100 milliequivalents of potassium we are taking daily, and it is excreted predominantly via the kidney. So the renal excretion contributes to 90 milliequivalents. It is excreted. 10 milliequivalents only passing via the feces. That is 10 milliequivalents. So of the 100 milliequivalents, 90 is excreted via kidney and 10 is via the gastrointestinal tract. Again, looking into the cells, remember that potassium is a major intracellular cation. 98% of potassium is inside the cell and only 2% extracellular. And potassium can shift from membrane through the membranes. The major stimulus for membrane shift is one is beta stimulation or beta agonist. Second is insulin, glucose. So when there is excess beta stimulation or beta agonists are given, like salbutamol, terbutaline, etc., this can lead on to many other drugs like theophylline can also produce, mainly due to the sympathetic stimulation. Insulin should also be kept in mind. Then there are hereditary diseases like periodic paralysis, which can produce membrane shift. So basically, hypokalemia is due to decrease in the intake. It's a very rare cause unless a patient is on Wright's tube and not taking any food. Second is GAT loss, that is diarrhea. And third is renal loss. And again remember, the renal depends mainly on the aldosterone. So hyperaldosteronism will lead on to increased excretion of potassium because of the action of the aldosterone on the distal tubules. The details of management and the cause of hypokalemia will be discussed later. Hope this was useful to you.